30 on a Monday. We're going to talk about cat food and convenience stores. All that and no more. Just that. Just cat food and convenience stores this morning on Done Believing. Hey, good morning, guys. This is Done Believing. We are moving away from simply believing the truth straight towards knowing the truth, all for the purpose of overcoming delusion. And it is a spiritual battle happening in the hearts, in the souls, and the minds of every single human being. Evil, it doesn't exist in the world. It exists in the hearts and the minds of the people. And most people, they won't even fight the battle. They're just so accustomed to living in their mind, in their imagination, that they never even think that there's a battle going on. They think the battle's all on the outside. They think the problems are with everybody else except themselves. The problem is you. It's nobody else. That being said, I got a question for you. What does it mean? What does it mean when cat food smells like McDonald's? Weird question, I know. But this morning I was feeding this cat that I have. This is a very obnoxious cat. This cat just meows. He's got me trained. So I made the mistake of feeding the cat wet food out of a can. And once you do that, you can't go back. You can't go back to the dry food. You're stuck with the wet food. So this morning, bright and early, I was feeding this dumb cat so that he would stop meowing so I could drink my coffee in peace. And I opened the can of cat food, and I swear it smelled like a McDonald's cheeseburger. I was a little concerned. I didn't know to be hungry or to be concerned about the quality of the McDonald's food. So my question, what does that mean? When cat food starts to smell like a McDonald's cheeseburger, you're in a bad place, or it's too early in the morning. I'm not sure, but I am an early riser. Hey, I want to get right to it. I got the question of the week. I'm going to ask the question. I will respond to the question with my own take, my own opinion on it on Friday. I will respond to that. But I'm going to put it out there now so we can think about it. And the reason I ask the questions is because I enjoy thinking. I enjoy contemplation. And my hope is that you will too. And if I enjoyed fishing, then I'd probably do a video a day about fishing tips. But I don't really enjoy fishing. It's kind of boring. It's fun, but I mean, what am I going to do with a fish? I just go to a grocery store and get a fish. I mean, I know how to fish, so if the one world government takes over and I got to just live off the land, I mean, I'll figure out how to fish pretty damn quick. Okay. So anyways, that being said, the question of the week, where does your energy come from? Where does your energy come from? And if you need to, you can define the word energy. You can get to the bottom of that, but however that hits you, that's what I want. Don't read too much into the question. Just listen to it and just see what happens. You're 9 times out of 10. Your first reaction to the question, that's probably your true answer. That's your true take on it. And it's been my experience that you should trust that knee-jerk reaction, not knee-jerk reaction. You should trust that first gut instinct. Learn how to trust that, because even in my business, my goodness, in my business, I have learned when I get that feeling, just walk away. And I wash cars for a living. I got a little car wash business. And so many times I've pulled up to a job and I've ended up doing the job and I've had to deal with some goofball that now I trust that gut feeling so much that I don't even think twice. I pull up, somebody gives me the wrong vibe. I just say, bye. I just pack my crap and I leave. And I have left several people standing in their driveway just looking at me like I'm the crazy one. It's like, no, think what you will, but I got to go. It's not going to work working for you. Hey, Mombarella has tuned in, and good morning to Mombi Rella. Mom, Zombie, Cinderella, something like that. So the question of the week, where does your energy come from? And I was looking in the news this morning, and I noticed something. Speaking of energy, there are so many distractions. There's so many things that you could spend your time and energy looking into. And I think of energy like money almost. What do you spend your energy on? Your energy money, your energy currency. What do you spend that on? Because there's so many things to waste it on. You know, that's not the question of the week. The question of the week is, where does it come from? But my observation this morning, just in my own behavior, I was reading a news story. And the news story came out of New York. It was about a guy who is a convenience store worker, or as they call them there, bodega. A bodega store worker who's being charged with murder for killing a guy that came behind the counter and tried to rob him or assault him or something. Who knows if it was a full-on rob, but it was an assault nonetheless. So I'm reading that story and I'm like, what the heck? So I'd spent like 5 minutes reading this story. I'm a slow reader. 5 minutes reading this story, going, man, what kind of world do we live in? All this only to find out in a video clip that the guy was released. The bodega worker. He ended up getting released. So watch this. Watch it. In my point, I'll finish my point of this, but just watch the story there.
Bodega worker Jose Alba is home tonight after spending 6 days on Rikers Island. He hid his face and had nothing to say about his self-defense case. His saga started Friday night while at work at the Blue Moon Bodega in Hamilton Heights. This woman seen on surveillance video getting mad after she's denied a bag of chips because her EBT card is not working. Her boyfriend comes in, confronting Alba behind the register, pushing the 61-year-old.
What's wrong with you?
Alba's attorney says the video speaks for itself, and Alba stabbed 37-year-old Austin Simon in self-defense, resulting in his death. Police arrested Alba, charging him with murder, but the mayor is on Alba's side.
But the mayor is on Alba's side. Just so you know, an EBT card, whatever that is, that's a food stamps card. These people went into a convenience store to buy a bag of chips with taxpayer money. And don't get me wrong, I've been on food stamps before. It was not the proudest moment in my life. So I'm not dogging people for taking advantage of a system that's there to help people in a time of need. I'm just saying, you go into a convenience store to get a bag of chips, and you end up getting so crazy that it costs you your life. On a side note, see what anger will get you? And that's not just being frustrated. That's not just cussing and walking out with no chips. That's full-fledged anger. That's the only place it's going to lead you. So if you have anger, you got to deal with that. And this is completely for free. The way to deal with anger, you confront it, you admit that you have it, and you don't make excuses for it. But we'll talk about that another time. So here it is. I was reading the story, and it sounds like injustice. It sounds like a bodega worker was arrested and charged with murder, and I'm getting all worked up. And this other story, I think it was NBC, one of the other news outlets, the story I was reading, they just let it sit there and hang out. Yep, the guy's still in jail. But then I did a little bit more searching, and I found the video that they let the guy out. They let the guy out of jail. And here's my point. Very short, simple, to the point this morning. If you're not paying attention, if you don't take the time to contemplate, if you don't think for yourself, somebody else is going to do the thinking for you. And they're going to try to control the way you perceive the world. And they're trying to make us, the infamous they, which is mostly the media. And the media is not even necessarily like the bad guys. They're just trying to get clicks. They're trying to sell newspapers. That's their MO, to make money by selling news stories. and scandals and sensationalization of our everyday lives. So don't blame them. Just recognize them for what they are. They're just salesmen trying to get us to emotionally react. Now, here's where it gets evil. Evil lives in the hearts and the minds of the people. So somebody who already has evil inside them, going to read the story, going to get all worked up. Then they're going to form an organization like Black Lives Matter, and they're going to go burn down businesses. And it's the same evil that cost this guy his life in the video. And it almost cost the store owner his life. But good does win. Good does come out in the end. And so it's so important for us to remember that. If we're not paying attention, we're going to get distracted and we're going to buy into a lie that's going to make us a delusional person. And the biggest delusion of today is that good isn't going to win. We're going to have to fight dirty. Here's how you win against evil. You have integrity. Stick to your guns. Trust the integrity. Trust God. Trust the good that's in you. No man is good, but any of us who have been born again of the Spirit of God by forgiving and repenting and pursuing a relationship with God, any of us who have been born again are overcoming. They're overcoming. We're overcoming that. And we're moving forward. We're overcoming the delusion. I kind of forgot the point I was making right there. But I think I've made the point. We got to trust that the integrity within us, the good within us, it will win. We just got to stick to it and see it all the way through to the end. And there's too many Christians who are waiting for the second coming of Christ to bail them out from this horrible, despicable, evil world. And they say things like, the world's just getting eviler and more evil. And I used to believe that. But I have seen now that the world's not getting more evil. It just is evil. It just is. And anybody who's of the world who has not been born again by forgiving and returning to the Father, and that's how you get into the kingdom of heaven. You receive forgiveness and you extend forgiveness. If you don't do that, you're not going to make it in. It doesn't matter how much you get up and plead the blood of Jesus. No matter how much you believe of the theology of the resurrection of Jesus, it doesn't matter. If you cannot receive forgiveness and extend forgiveness, you're not making it in. You're just as evil as the day you were born, because we're all born into a fallen world. We're born to fallen parents who are only doing what they've been taught to do. And only those of us who overcome that through forgiveness, we're the only ones that are going to make it in. And it's not big, giant us versus them. It's oh my gosh, I've been saved from this. I've been saved from the world. How can I not tell others to do the same? Go and forgive. Stay on the path of forgiveness, receiving it, extending it. And don't get distracted. Because for the world, the distraction comes to get everybody riled up into action, to take action. And then those actions are going to cost you your life, just like they cost this young guy his life. And he was there with his wife, I guess, or baby's mom. His wife and child. There was a kid in there. It cost him his life, getting mad, getting angry. And that's for the world. And for those of us who have been saved out of the world, it's going to lead us to all kind of crazy theologies, thinking that, oh, Jesus will bail me out of this. Or give up hope. It's a distraction to steal your energy so you can't do the things that you need to do. And for the Christians, what we need to do, we need to receive forgiveness and extend forgiveness and then share the testimony of doing that. That's why I'm making the videos all the time, to share the experience that I have had. I'm not just some guy that's like, oh yeah, I've looked at a map. Let's pretend this. Let's pretend that you are living in St. Louis back in the 1800s and you want to head out west to strike it rich, the gold rush in California. And so you're looking for somebody to guide you from the east to the west on the Oregon Trail. Who are you going to choose? Somebody who's looked at a map or somebody who's actually done it? Somebody who's actually done it. Yeah. And so when you're thinking about a church that you're going to, is the guy up there preaching, has he actually done it? Has he overcome the sinful nature, the nature that he was born with, the nature of this world, that we're all born into this fallen world where we just do what's been programmed into us by our parents and their parents and their parents and their parents, all the way back to Adam and Eve in the garden? You're going to follow somebody like that? I've read the manual of how to overcome, but have you actually overcome? Well, no, it's just God's grace. Every time I don't overcome, I just ask God to forgive me and then everything's cool. It's not going to do it. I've tried it. I've preached it. I started a church with that mentality. And where is it now? It's gone. It's not there. It doesn't last. I'm not saying this stuff because I got a new theology. I'm saying it because I've been there. I've done it. It doesn't work. Do what you want. Everybody has to get to the point where they're done suffering. And only those who suffer and die can be reborn by the Spirit of God. And some of us, some of y'all, you got some more suffering to do. You're not ready yet. And that's okay. God is a patient God. But if you're not careful, you are being distracted into overreacting, which is going to cost you your life or your freedom. Or you're being distracted into fear, which is going to cause you to kowtow. That's a fun word, kowtow. It's going to cause you to get into fear and do nothing instead of being like this bodega worker. I like that word, bodega. Instead of being like the convenience store worker who stood up and did what was right. You can't let somebody come in there doing that. It's too bad it cost the guy his life. But this bodega worker, he's working his butt off every day. He works for a living, only to have somebody come in with a freaking food stamp card and go ballistic on him. Meanwhile, we're being told. I don't know why my air conditioner just kicked on, so we're going to end there. Meanwhile, we're being told that white guys with guns are the most dangerous threat to our democracy. It seems like people who are pissed off about not getting chips are the most dangerous threat to our democracy. And let me tell you, the chips, there ain't nothing good in a bag of chips. You might as well eat cat food and wonder why it tastes like McDonald's. We're going to end there, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you back tomorrow, Tuesday, 7:30 a.m.